the basin itself goes across 6 countries, even though the Volta River only exists in 2 countries, Burkina Faso and Ghana. But the geological formation called the Voltaian Basin covers 6 countries. As I said, 40% of the landmass of Ghana constitutes the Voltaian Basin. There is the potential, at this stage it is only a potential, there is the potential for hydrocarbons. In the 1960s, the Soviet geologists, in searching for water, made contact with viscous material of bituminous nature that showed that the prospect for oil and gas availability in the Voltaian Basin could not be neglected. However, GMPC in the last couple of years has started some geological work, specifically seismic work. They've shown some amount of 2Ds. They are developing the 2Ds, and then they are currently shooting some 3D seismic. So the prospect of having oil and gas in the Voltaian Basin is there. But the issue is, as a nation, are we prepared? Should we make a discovery? Are we prepared for it? The work plan GMPC brought to Parliament for this year included an environmental impact assessment. It also included drilling for it included drilling. And for some of us, we are extremely concerned. First of all, if you drill and perchance you hit oil in commercial quantities, the genie will be out of the bottle. You cannot control the momentum. Meanwhile, the conditions precedent for successful exploration are not in place. They are not in place because, unlike offshore drilling, onshore drilling immediately has an impact on livelihoods. If we take our mining communities, there are lessons to be learned. The environmental degradation, the high level of expectation, the inadequate compensation that our legal framework presently makes possible, those things will come to haunt us. If we take lessons from our immediate neighborhood, almost everywhere there has been serious problems in oil-producing economies. It's been as a result of onshore production. There is a certain need for some preparation and a certain national consensus to be built prior to discovery. Should we discover oil on the Voltaian or any onshore basin for that matter, how is the revenue going to be distributed? The immediate community, how will that community be impacted? The national, local government conflicts, how are they going to be managed? People will talk about the Western region. The Western region will be a child's play because production is 60 kilometers or more away from any human settlement. But in the Voltaian, it will be exactly on where people already live. There will be displacement. And if you take the high rate of youth unemployment, there are going to be issues of in-migration. That is, people moving from one area to the areas of discovery, with its attendant tensions. More importantly, is our security architecture developed enough to contain any explosion that comes out of a result of discovery? I'm not just talking of physical explosion. I'm talking of ethnic explosion. Already, there are too many ethnic conflicts in the area of the Voltaian. So assuming there's a discovery around the Chiriponi area now, without a certain national consensus, it will escalate the existing tensions between, for example, the Chokosis and the Konkomis. And it's not just that area. Across the Voltaian, there are a lot of ethnic tensions. Apart from the ethnic tensions, there are also boundary disputes in terms of traditional jurisdiction. And therefore, if we don't come to some agreement, especially the revenue, if the revenue does not impact positively on the immediate locality, and in oil and gas, we have a term we call local. It is different from local content. Local content is about nationals. Local is about the geographical catchment area. There are those issues, and therefore I am recommending that one GMPC does not proceed with any drilling. They should continue with the geotechnical works they are doing, the seismic gathering and seismic interpretation. However, they should not proceed with any drilling until we as a nation have agreed on what to do should there be a discovery. Equally important is environmental impact assessment and environmental management. Are we prepared to take a second look at possible environmental degradation? Are there mitigation systems we are putting in place? Have they been developed? Our very legal framework is the legal framework. If you take the Projection and Exploration Law 2016, if you take the Petroleum Revenue Management Law, have these legal frameworks made room for subnational structures to benefit from the production? These are some of the issues that we want to be addressed. I want to see a national consensus built, a national conference involving key stakeholders such as National House of Chiefs, the Institute of Surveyors, civil society organizations, environmental organizations, the GRA, meet and decide that should we make a discovery, this will be the roadmap. The Voltaian Basin, if we are not careful, can become a death trap. It is a double-edged sword, as I stated in my statement. There's a possibility of bringing in so much wealth to the national kitty, because production on the onshore is relatively very cheap, and therefore the rent element is high. Therefore, more money will come to the treasury. However, the other side of the sword is the instability, the social chaos that can arise, the security failures that can arise. And if we do not prepare adequately, Ogoni in Nigeria will be a child's play. So I am calling on the executive arm of government, I am calling on the legislature to initiate steps to have a national dialogue so that we build a national consensus. As I stated, we can learn from Botswana. Before Botswana discovered diamonds, Seretse Khama, the then premier, called a national consensus meeting that should we discover, what should we do? At that point, there would have been no discovery on anybody's land. So people are prepared to be rational. If you wait until there's a discovery, it becomes very difficult to get a national agreement. And therefore, I want the nation state to rise up. We should not sleepwalk into a discovery without the necessary preparation. And unfortunately, that is what we are doing now. And if that is going to cause a conflagration of the nation state, no. We have waited so long without oil. We have survived without oil. And as I stated in my statement, so far, all the money that has come to the nation state since 2010 when the late Professor Mills, and today being the 7th anniversary of his passing away, may his soul rest in perfect peace. It's been 9 years since he turned on the pipe for oil production to begin, we have earned less than $5 billion. If you divide 5 billion by our population over 9 years, the impact is very little. If we divide all of our oil production a year by our population, assuming we're even to share it equally, we'll get less than $100 each. So but the potential to destabilize the nation state is my major concern. We can turn it into a blessing. We turn it into a blessing by preparing, by not sleepwalking into it.